Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again to another segment of Inside Dracut Politics. Before I go on, and before I forget, tomorrow is an election day. Unusual in Dracut for it to be on Thursdays, but because of Labor Day, they moved it to that. Hopefully, because people coming back from vacation will have an opportunity to vote. The only thing on the ballot that has been given any publicity is the question 2, the matter of charter schools. I don't know whether it'll be on this ballot or the November ballot, but I think it'll be this ballot. It's been given a lot of publicity, pro and con, but the con words, no, I don't think the con words as prevalent this year as they've been in the past, because the pro-charter group ruined the myth that the anti-charter school tried to establish, and that it was taking away money from your local public schools. Well, the people, I think, resented that, but since it wasn't true, hopefully you'll see that not just ours, all those schools that are taught by teachers that are all unionized. Competitions, ladies and gentlemen, is necessary to counteract the union in education. Because as I've said many, many times, since 1960, billions of dollars have been thrown into education, and yet the quality of education has been slowly going down. And with the advent of Common Core, it will be accelerated, because they're not going to be teaching your children things of value. They've already done it here in Dracut by removing U.S. history from its curriculum in favor of world history. Well, ladies, I don't care which side you're on, but my child, I would rather have him or her learn about our country, and if necessary, others. But primarily, they should know why and how this country became the greatest country in the world. And if you won't accept that fact, too bad, because it is the greatest country in the world. And we know that by the prevalence of illegal and legal immigrants wanting to come here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's unfortunate that we have an administration, both here in Dracut and at the state level, that have capitulated, if you will, to Obama's attempts to destroy this country. And I know there are some idiots out there who think that he's been a great president. Well, ladies and gentlemen, anyone who tells you that has rocks in his head. in Massachusetts, Deval Patrick, of course, was a personal friend of Obama. Barack Obama, Barack Hussein Obama, whatever. Your president, not mine. And consequently, when Common Core was introduced, an offer was made that if accepted in Massachusetts, we'd reap a harvest of $250 million. And when I approached the former president of the school committee, his response was, well, you know, we need the money. Not education, money. Then you wonder why the quality of education has been slowly going down since the 1960s, because people are thinking more of money than of educating your child. And we know they're not being educated because those going on to college, most of them don't qualify. They have to take remedial courses in order to be able to be accepted. And consequently, some of them, as I brought out in the last show, 58% of those going to college today graduate? And if they do manage to graduate, they graduate owing so much money that the government took over. All right, student loans, the government took it over. Why? At an 8% rate. And today, those of you who have savings accounts know that there's no way in the world that that's the kind of rate that you are earning on your savings. So consequently, government is making money off of, again, education. Well, you got it. Ladies and gentlemen, again, charter schools. If you've done any reading on charter schools, the only one that had less than a good grade, the administrators were replaced, and within a year or two, they were up there with the rest of them. And why? Right here in Massachusetts, there are 34,000 children looking to be admitted to charter schools. Parents are not satisfied with the quality of education being taught in our public school system. Ladies and gentlemen, again, money, money, money. Today, everyone who isn't making big money is a nobody. And of course, everybody wants to be a somebody. Do as little as you can, but make as much as you can. And the unions have adopted that philosophy for years. You know, ladies and gentlemen, unions at one time, in the late 1930s, when they were first founded, were there to protect the employees. And it was so for a number of years. However, in the last 20 years or so, it has shifted where in Massachusetts you have to join the union. It's mandatory if you're a public sector employee. Now, where in the world, especially here in America, is someone forced to do anything? But unions today, ladies and gentlemen, are not for the employee. They're more in collusion with politicians more in collusion with management. I brought that out several months ago when the Volkswagen people in Germany, because of union pressure, all right, wanted their employees to join the union. Not the employees wanted the management to provide. No. It was management telling them to join the union. And ladies and gentlemen, forced dues on employees, in my humble opinion, is unconstitutional. But today, what the hell is the Constitution? Nothing. Oh, that's old stuff. We got to be modern. This is the 21st century. Yes. Yeah, what are we? Yeah. Regardless, ladies and gentlemen, you as citizens, and I don't use that word lightly, as citizens of these United States, have to get involved. And the best way to do that, ladies and gentlemen, is to go vote or run for public office. But how many people really want to do that today? They don't want to be a part of the kind of politics that exists, not just at the federal level, ladies and gentlemen. No way. Not just at the state level either, but right here in Dracut. Set the example. Set the example for your children, your neighbors. And if you can't do that for them, do it for yourself. I went to vote today. And, you know, I won't say that I've done it many, many times, but I have gone to vote and have filed a blank ballot because those running didn't appeal to me at all. Because they're an incumbent, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't mean a damn thing to me. If they haven't done something, except squawk about other departments, something, they don't deserve to be there. The go along to get along crowd, we can do without. Excuse me. Back to my agenda. Excuse me. My quote. Life is a journey. When we stop, things don't go right. Pope Francis. Think about it. People who have worked hard all their lives and get to retire and take the option of not doing anything, sit there in front of that boob tube or do little or nothing, things start to go wrong. And you've heard it, I'm sure, many, many times. You have to keep going. And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm one of those that have adopted that premise. I just can't sit and do nothing. On the last show, I mentioned the fact that articles appearing in our local paper arriving too late to be included in that agenda, I would discuss on the show. I don't know if you've read the article. Well, the first one I'd like to talk about is the article on public colleges and their graduation rates. I just mentioned the fact that 58% of people going to college today graduated. But that isn't anything new, ladies and gentlemen. It's been so for quite a while. Kids that go to college, many of them shouldn't be there in the first place. And in the old days, those people, for whatever reason, weren't allowed in. But today, with student loans and everything, anybody can get in. It's, again, a matter of money. They're going to get it from you, and if you don't get it from, they'll get it from the government. And government money is your money and mine. It's a problem that has existed for a long time. But today, like everything else, discrimination laws are such that few, if any, applicant is denied. The problem with the advent of student loans, now run by a government at an interest rate of 8%. Higher education costs are guaranteed. Opening the gates to higher education costs, which today means you pay more for less. Students shouldn't have been accepted in the first place, but some never get to graduate. The Sun's article shows that at UMass in 2013, the 6-year graduation rate was only 54%, 56% in 2015. Students leaving are left with a big debt to repay with no sheepskin to show for it. Most of them, ladies and gentlemen, weren't prepared or qualified to start off with. And Marty Meehan, ladies and gentlemen, with his vast expansion of UMass Lowell, will probably be doing the same with all of the other Mass universities. More buildings, less taxes for the cities that these buildings are being built in. They don't give a damn about anyone or anything else but their ambitions. And of course the media, they can't side with the poor people. They side with the rich ones. The other one was Dan Phelps' article. It was well written and appropriate for every American citizen to consider strongly come November 8th. that is, any American citizen, man or woman, with enough brains to determine the difference between right and wrong, using the best interest of the country and its people foremost in their decision-making process. We've seen, ladies and gentlemen, what has transpired in this country under Obama's rule these past almost 8 years. Your judgment in 2012, re-electing that man, has brought us down to almost to be classified as a third world country. Our military right now is at what it was in 1940 before we went to the Second World War. This, at the time when we have a hell of a lot more enemies today than we had back then. Had everyone, when I say everyone, 17 million Christians didn't go vote in 2012. 17 million. He won by over 4 million. If only 50% of those 17 million had gone out to vote, he wouldn't have been our president. And frankly, I doubt seriously that we'd be in the mess we're in now. So, whose fault is it? We reap what we sow. But who the hell cares? I still have my job. I still pay for my debts. I can still do what I want. For how long? If you're a Christian, how long are you going to be a Christian? The way it's going now. And your Constitution is being prostituted so that at some time, if things don't change, you won't be a Christian. It's that bad. But you have a way out. Obama isn't going to be on the ballot, but that doesn't mean he's going away. I read just yesterday where someone wrote that Hillary, our infamous Hillary Rodham Clinton, was considering Obama for an appointment to the U.S. Supreme Court. That's the end of it. With Obama on the Supreme Court, with 3 possibilities in the next 4 or 5 years, our Supreme Court will be reduced to no, I hate to think about it. Damn air conditioner. But again, those of you out there who would consider voting for Hillary because she's a woman will deserve, if she's elected, will deserve everything. And don't think for a minute that Hillary is going to give a damn about you. No. What has she done for you? Except tell you that she would do this or do that. But what has she done for you? Just as the Democratic Party has promised the blacks the moon, but never have produced anything. What in the world makes you think that it's going to be any different? Ladies and gentlemen, we have to start making right decisions. We have to start thinking of right and wrong again. We can't allow ourselves to buy all that crap that's being fed to us without analyzing and asking ourselves, are we better off today than we were 8 years ago? Certainly, your answer to that question can't be, oh, I'm doing a lot better. We've had the longest or the slowest recession, getting out from this recession, the slowest of any recession we've ever had. And it's being done willfully. They don't want us to be smarter. They don't want us to be richer. You know, all this stuff about we'll get the rich to pay. Hillary and Bill went into politics broke. They are now multi-millionaires. They're not in there, ladies and gentlemen, to do what's right and good for this country. They've proved that over and over and over again. And yet, we, the idiots, keep thinking that they're going to change. Well, good luck to you. 8 years of struggling, seeing your pay raises stagnating. Why? Who the hell do you think they're helping? They're not helping you. They're helping the rich get richer. They're all those illegals. Excuse me. All these illegals, ladies and gentlemen, the law states that employers can't hire illegals. But what's the law today? The law says they're not supposed to be in this country anyway. But what are they doing about it? They've opened the gates wider. Not just the illegals, but the legals. We think that we're so damn smart in this country that what's happening in Europe isn't going to happen here. It is happening here. What the hell has to happen before you start accepting that fact? Government isn't for the people or by the people anymore. They're there to serve you, not the other way around. But it is. We're serving them. Idiots running for public office. Think about what has been going on. Think about what good it has done versus the bad that it's done. Oh no. Oh no. It can't happen here. No, we're too smart for that. Well, the smart ones, ladies and gentlemen, are putting it over on you because you just happen to be dumber than the dumb ones. You won't accept the fact that people wouldn't do things like that. Well, they are. And who's paying for it? You. But don't change that stupid flat tire. Keep running on the flat. Ladies and gentlemen, our attitudes have to change. And the only way it will change if you start thinking. Why is this happening? Right here in Dracut. I have never, ever said that young Mr. Boulay, who died for his country, shouldn't get the recognition that he deserves. However, as I've mentioned several times before, on a promise that no one has been able to confirm, I tried myself and was told I don't remember. 10, 12 years ago. Now, after spending $3.5 million on Veterans Memorial Park, where all the other veterans have been recognized, we have to have a separate park for one individual on land that easily could be used by income-producing properties. We, the taxpayer, are being denied. And ladies and gentlemen, those of us who travel Lakeview Avenue often have seen the work that has been done on that property so far. The only trucks I've seen were town trucks, town employees from the DPW. Are they using monies from their budgets, or are they using some of the money that's already been raised? I don't know. I don't care. I've reached that point where if nobody else cares, why the hell should I? For 20 years or better, I've been trying to, as best I can, to keep you informed, hoping. But my frustrations, ladies and gentlemen, has been that nobody wants to get involved except the takers. Yeah, the takers. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you've read the latest on the fire department. They've had their study of their operation done, and they've come out with flying colors. The only thing was, and I don't care, the employees seem to dislike the way the chief runs the department. The chief, a former Marine, I can understand. He won't take any crap from any of his employees, and I'm sure that it's a situation where you do your job or else. How else could their study made have brought out the fact that it's in good shape, except for employee dissension? Well, I would rather have a military person running a department than what we have today, and too many of them. When I say politicians, ladies and gentlemen, politics wasn't always what it is today. I can remember when I first came to this town, the people in public office and on committees worked for the town. It wasn't until the early 80s when things started to change and go downwards. The bloodsuckers the me, lost generation the politics of this town changed drastically, and it hasn't gotten much better. Though I did read where our town manager, in reporting on the fire department study, made the statement that he would hire the 3 firemen that they were looking for with the, I forget the term. But now he's going to hire 1 a year. If we've been able to live all these years with the complement we have now, building it up doesn't have to be one big step. Do it gradually. It will help the department and help the taxpayer, and that's the way it should be. You don't satisfy just the public sector employee. You have to satisfy the needs of the taxpayers too. And I thank him for doing that. But again, that Boulay Park, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I'm concerned, that is strictly a political decision, not well thought out, not with the taxpayers' best interest at heart. It was politics all the way, and I resent that. More than you can think. But there's still time. We'll see. You know, we've been told by the manager, no way is he going to spend $590,000 on building that park, which was the figure given to us originally. But it was going to be all donated funds. Well, we've proven that the possibility exists that we've already started to use taxpayer funds. I guess the donations aren't coming in as quickly as they would have thought. People resent it, and they should, because the difference. What's his motto? We take care of business. That piece of land is zoned for business. It was used for business. Why now? Why not Veterans Memorial Park? Put up a plaque over there. It won't cost you anywhere near what you intend to spend on this. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we have to start changing attitudes. We have to change that flat tire. We have to start thinking of the town, not the takers and the bloodsuckers. No. Those we elect to office aren't there to service them. They're there to service we. But how many of them go into public office today with that way of thinking? Politicians today are a different breed. They think they're so damn smart. When unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, they're the dumbest ones I've ever met. Promoting transgenders bills. I mean, come on. Do you think that person is sane? Do you think that person gave any thought at all to the unintended consequences? He's a stupid politician. And until these people that we elect to office start thinking out of the box and stop being politically correct, which is the dumbest thing that we've ever got involved in. Things will only get worse. And it's not just a transgender bill, ladies and gentlemen. You know, they've prostituted that word discrimination so badly that it doesn't mean what it used to mean. Same-sex marriage. Oh, no. If you can't think of the consequences that has caused, ladies and gentlemen, you have a lot to learn. To change the subject, I wonder how many of us Americans know about the depth of Muslim involvement that is already here in America. From published reports, we have 57 Muslim organizations heavily involved in U.S. politics, especially in D.C. I've mentioned this before. Hillary's top advisor as head of the State Department, a woman whose father is a member of the Brotherhood. The largest of these and the most significant is the Muslim Brotherhood. CAIR, C-A-I-R, Council on American Islamic Relations. ISNA, Islamic Society of North America. The Muslim American Society, the Islamic Circle of North America, Islamic Relief USA, the Muslim Public Affairs Council, the North American Islam Trust, Muslim Youth Association, Islamic Association for Palestine, some of the more prevalent ones. I'll give you an example. When terrorism first started, the government instituted a training program for FBI, CIA, and all other organizations involved in the terrorist situation. And of course, the program brought out a lot about Muslims and Sharia law and what that implies. And of course, mosques were bugged by the FBI to find out what was being said in these mosques. And everything that they found out warranted those employed by we the people in government should know, but those 57 organizations, ladies and gentlemen, wrote a letter demanding that these training programs cease because it was inflammatory and what do you think happened? We, of course, caved in. In fact, Brennan, who headed the training program, wrote and apologized. I mean, where in the hell have you ever heard Americans apologizing for anything they've done? Especially when what was done was for the protection of we the people. And government's first responsibility, ladies and gentlemen, is the protection of U.S. citizens. And they're doing a hell of a lousy job doing it. Why? Because they're caving in to all of these. No, ladies and gentlemen. Politicians and government are not the solution. They're the problem. And there were never truer words said than that. But it is what it is because of we the people. what the hell will it take? And certainly, you better hope that we don't have to go to war to protect this country, because we're not prepared. And as it's been said many, many times before, if you want peace, prepare for war. And not the kind of war that's being fought today, where our boys are being killed because of our military stupidity. We're not out there to beat and win. We're out there to be the nice guys. Well, the other side doesn't look at it that way, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we're losing so many of our boys and girls. Keep re-electing people who care nothing about this country, and you'll see it getting worse and worse, and we'll end up, ladies and gentlemen, being controlled and losing our freedoms, not from outside sources, but from within. That's the prediction that's been made. If we don't smarten up, we as Americans, I'm not talking about the illegal Americans, they're not Americans. And even the legal ones aren't Americans. They don't know anything about this country except that it's the land of opportunity. Their opportunity to get what they haven't been able to get in their own countries. Government handouts. Ladies and gentlemen, I lived during the times when there were no such things as government handouts. But you know and I know that today that's the common thing today. Why work? I can get money enough to live on from the government. Won't have to work. And what has brought this country down to where it's heading is personal initiatives on the part of its citizens. We are the government. But we can't even govern ourselves. We have to let somebody else do it. And that someone else invariably ends up telling you to go to hell. We're going to do it our way, not your way. And their way, of course, is through buying votes. You think these people on welfare are going to vote for anyone other than Hillary? But if we, those with that personal initiative, with the pride that goes with it, don't get up our duffs and go vote, it's going to happen. And ladies, whether you want to accept it or not, I don't care. It's going to get worse. History, lady, look, again, I'm going to tell you, as I've said many times, I'd rather vote for the devil I don't know than the devil I do know. And if I voted for the devil I didn't know and he turns out to be the devil, he won't get my vote again. But in America, that doesn't make any difference. Well, what the hell? Let him run in. No. We keep people in there too long, ladies and gentlemen. Term limits has been soundly defeated every time it's been brought out. But that's where the problem lies. We won't give it a try. Consequently, we end up doing the suffering. The guys up there doing all this crazy stuff, $174,000 a year, and if you hold a position, chairman of a committee, you get paid more, and your benefits, of course, out of this world. You lose your election, oh no. No, they don't worry. They leave that to you and me. But they know from experience 90% of incumbents get reelected over and over and over and over again. People in public office for 30, 40, 50 years. And it's not that they work every single day. Oh, they'll give you that crap about, our constituency services keeps us busy. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how many of you have ever written to your congressman or to your senator. I have. And I've got copies to prove it. My time's up, ladies and gentlemen. See you in 2 weeks, good Lord willing.